So, Dave, what do you want to do?
I want to rock!
We got a YouTube channel about D&D, not music.
Oh, well, what about bards, man?
Can we combine them? Maybe you do go-to bard spells, tier 2?
Sure, man, we could do that. Welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds, I'm Nerdarchy Dave, and as usual, I'm hanging out with this nerd.
Nerdarchy Ted.
Maybe it's your first time visiting Ted's Basement. It's a place where we like to discuss news, views, and homebrews for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. Sometimes we even talk about other role-playing games.
So if you don't want to miss a single video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and attune to that notification bell.
Alright, it is time to dive into tier 2 go-to spells for the bard, which we always do 5 spells plus a bonus spell. We have a particular category we break them down into, and I'm going to go to my handy-dandy device as our use so that we can pull them up on D&D Beyond.
For tier 2, that's 3rd, 4th, and 5th level spells, so between levels 5 and 10 of when you would get them. I've got Synaptic Static here. For the attack spell, 5th level, so that definitely falls into that tier 2 quality. It's casting time 1 action. It's a range 120 feet with a 20-foot area effect of the sphere. Requires verbal and somatic. Duration is instantaneous, although it does have effects that linger. The school is enchantment. It's an intelligence saving throw for those affected, and the damage effect is psychic, again, with some potential lingering. You choose a point within range and cause psychic energy to explode there. Each creature in a 20-foot radius sphere centered on that point must make an intelligence saving throw. A creature with an intelligence score of 2 or lower can't be affected by this spell. A target takes 8d6 psychic damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. After a failed save, a target has muddled thoughts for 1 minute. During that time, it rolls a 1d6 and subtracts the number rolled from all its attack rolls and ability checks, as well as its constitution saving throws to maintain concentration. The target can make an intelligence saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on a success. I've seen how awful Bane is, and this is worse. So this has got so many effects, coupled together. It is such a fantastic spell.
Yeah, I mean, it's 5th level, so it should be good. The bard does have a lot of great offensive options, but I like this one because it's a fireball, but for your mind, right? It's an intelligence saving throw, which, there's a lot of brute-type monsters that are going to have a good save for that. Even if they're quick and nimble, they might not have a good save for that. And then it's also, if they fail their saving throw, it's a debuff. So all around, it's a great spell to use in combat.
And you couple that, with Bane as well. They're just not going to be successful at anything.
It could just be very drastically affect the battlefield, so it's a great spell.
And it does not require concentration once cast, so nice.
Bam. 1 and done. So next up we have our defensive spell, and for that we went with non-detection, which is an abjuration spell. It's a 3rd level spell. Range touch, so you can cast it on yourself or somebody else. It has an 8-hour duration. It is not a concentration spell. For the duration, you hide a target that you touch from divination magic. The target can be a willing creature or a place or an object no larger than 10 feet in any dimension. The target can't be targeted by any divination magic or perceived through magical scrying sensors. Now, it's very specific, divination magic, any kind of detection that way. But, the fact that you can just set it and forget it, 8 hours, you do not have to worry about it. Your enemies are not going to find you. It would stack with things like invisibility, because if you're invisible and then someone tries to use a divination magic to find you, they cannot.
Speaking of finding something, maybe we should find out what our sponsor is for this particular video.
That's a great idea. We are lucky enough to have Session Zero sponsoring this video, and we're all talking about magic right now, which fits perfectly fine because the Curse Collective for 5e and Pathfinder 2.0 cursed items is what's going on right now. It just launched. And these things look sweet. Over 50 cursed items. Me and Ted are actually going to contribute a cursed item each to that collective. You can get them as print and play. You can get them as a deck of cards. Or you can get a pocket-sized book with them in it. And you can get everything for like the low price of $35.
Yeah, it sounds great. I've looked through. They got a couple sample cards, or sample images on the Kickstarter that you can check out and see whether these are items that you want to add to your game. I think it looks amazing. The artwork is spectacular. I've enjoyed collecting the different decks of cards to augment your gameplay. So even though I'm adding a product to this, this is something that I want to add to my DM's tools because they sound so fun, so enjoyable, and just reading through the Kickstarter page had a number of things that made me laugh, got me smiling. So if for nothing else, go read it just for that.
Who doesn't want to add a portable troll to their game? You can't always get what you want, but you can try sometimes, and you might find you get what you need. Portable hole, cursed. This item functions exactly as a normal portable hole until someone tries to draw an item from it. There is only a 50% chance they receive what they want. Otherwise, they get an item from this list. 1. Grass clippings. 2. Stuffed animal. 3. Dead rodent. 4. Small cactus. Ouch. So you can check out the link in the description down below and help out the channel by checking out our sponsor.
Next up, we have our buff spell. What do we have in that category, Dave?
All right, so next up, we're going to go with something from one of the newer books, the Acquisitions Inc. book. It's even been featured and used on Critical Role thus far, and that is Motivational Speech, a 3rd level spell. It's a casting time of 1 minute, range 60 foot. So you're not going to be casting this in combat, but before combat, it's great. Duration is an hour, enchantment school. And also, there is no concentration on this one. So that's also very important. You address allies, staff, or innocent bystanders to exhort and inspire them to greatness, whether they have anything to get excited about or not. Choose up to 5 creatures within range that can hear you. For the duration, each affected creature gains 5 temporary hit points and has advantage on wisdom saving throws. If an affected creature is hit by an attack, it has advantage on the next attack roll it makes. Once an affected creature loses the temporary hit points granted by this spell, the spell ends for that creature. At higher levels. When you cast a spell using a spell slot 4th level or higher, the temporary hit points increase by 5 for each slot above 3rd level. And there's also a nice little quote on here. I once heard a motivational speech by Jim, and it was the worst 90 seconds of my life. What does Omen see in him anyway? Walnut, dank grass.
So this one has, a lot of cool things attached to it. Clearly this is designed as a precursor to a battle or a fight, or, even just something that you're trying to do that, you need advantage on wisdom saving throws. Like, we're going to cross this bridge and there's all kinds of horrific things there. So all we have to do is get across. We can do this. We're a team. Go for it. Charge!
Rah, rah, rah.
Some DMs might allow you to combine this with Inspiring Leader and deliver one speech and offer both benefits at the same time.
Not if they're temporary hit points. They don't stack.
Oh, that's right. They both do temporary hit points.
Aid. It would stack with aid. I think you were thinking of aid, my friend.
Yes. So you could definitely go down that road, combine some extra stuff together. But all in all, for a bard who's used to addressing a crowd, I think it's a great spell.
Agreed. So next up, we have our iconic spell. What do you got for me, Ted?
All right, so I got Charm Monster. We know that the bards are all about charming people. There's little jokes about, the bard sleeping with anything. So why not have them charm the monster? So 4th level, casting time 1 action, range 30 feet. Verbal and somatic, duration is an hour. That should be enough time, right? School of Enchantment, it's a wisdom saving throw, and the damage or effect is charmed. You attempt to charm a creature you can see within range. It must make a wisdom saving throw, and it does so with advantage if you or your companions are fighting it. If it fails its saving throw, it is charmed by you until the spell ends or until you or your companions do anything harmful to it. The charmed creature is friendly to you. When the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you. At higher levels, when you cast a spell using a spell slot of 5th or higher, you can target 1 additional creature for each spell slot above 4th. The creatures must be within 30 feet of each other when you target them. And it's got the tag of control.
So, essentially we're like, what spell? What is the epitome of every meme for the bard? And we're like, it's got to be Charm Monster. It's also super helpful and super useful as well.
Indeed. You've got the ability to be a sweet talker, and when you start to see things are going against you, you can be like, well, before the battle starts, I'm just gonna throw this spell out there.
All right, next up we have Utility Spell. And for that, we actually went with a Necromancy spell. But bards are all about communication, and in this case, we want to communicate with the dead, with Speak with Dead. I've seen this spell used many times in my own games for investigations. As a matter of fact, it is actually one of the spells that makes running a mystery really hard. So it's 3rd level, 1 action to cast, range, area 10 foot, duration 10 minutes. As we said, Necromancy School. You grant the semblance of life and intelligence to a corpse of your choice within range, allowing it to answer the questions you pose. The corpse must still have a mouth and can't be undead. The spell fails if the corpse was the target of this spell within the last 10 days. Till the spell ends, you can ask the corpse up to 5 questions. The corpse knows only what it knew in life, including the languages it knew. Answers are usually brief, cryptic, or repetitive, and the corpse is under no compulsion to offer a truthful answer. If you are hostile to it or it recognizes you as an enemy, this spell doesn't return the creature's soul to its body, only its animating spirit. Thus, the corpse can't learn new information, doesn't comprehend anything that has happened since it died, and can't speculate about future events.
So it's a very fun spell. It definitely adds a layer of role-playing into your game. When they've killed the bad guy before they, when they killed the bad guy and they should not have, as ways to get information. This is going to, be a real stickler for some DMs. They might not like, getting into this. It puts DMs on the spot when the players ask, questions that the DM wasn't prepared to answer. But all in all, I think it's a great spell, and its whole added role playing is the reason I love it.
That is 5 spells, and we promised you a bonus spell, so we want to do a overlooked one as well.
All right, so for this one, we have Mislead. It's 5th level, casting time 1 action. Range or area is self. It only has somatic components. Duration is an hour with concentration. School is illusion. There is no attack or save, and the damage or effect is deception. You become invisible at the same time that an illusionary double of you appears where you are standing. The double lasts for the duration, but the invisibility ends if you attack or cast a spell. You can use your action to move your illusory double up to twice your speed and make it gesture, speak, and behave in whatever way you choose. You can see through its eyes and hear through its ears as if you were located where it is. On each of your turns, as a bonus action, you can switch from using its senses to using your own, or back again. While you are using its senses, you are blind and deafened in regard to your own surroundings. It has the tag of deception. It's a great spell, in my opinion. You can do a lot of cool things with it. You honestly could just be like, okay, I'm going to go invisible. I'm going to create this, awesome scout that goes ahead and is completely immune to everything. And, everything that they try and do, you can see through it. It's not going to get harmed. It's great.
Yeah, the reason why this spell is great, you can use it to cast and get away if things are going poorly for you. You can use it to scout, like you said. You can use it to send into dangerous situations, maybe like a negotiation, where you don't want to personally be there. And the fact that once you cast it, it doesn't actually put a limit on how close you have to be to it. Obviously, you need to get the illusion where it needs to be, and you need to be where you want to be. But doesn't say you can't be on another plane and do this. It lasts an hour. This is a fantastic spell, and I feel like it's a spell that really clever players are gonna definitely throw a monkey wrench in the GM's works with.
All right, now here's the real ticker. I'm putting you on the spot here. It's a bard spell. You can speak through it. Can you give inspiration through it?
You would essentially have to refer back to what it says for inspiration, and if it has a range, then I would say no.
Okay.
If you are not within that range. But if you are hidden within that range and your allies or enemies, depending on which inspiration you're using, could see your double, I would say yes.
So I think this is a fantastic spell for that. That very reason. There's so many different ways to use it. I just think for overlooked, hands down, it is a great option.
Now, we did have a lot of back and forth discussion when we were coming up with our spells and our picks, and it was really hard to not put greater invisibility on the list. At the end of the day, do we only want this list to reflect what happens after the Dungeon Master says roll initiative or not? And we decided, no, we don't. So we wanted to, we wanted other things to factor in. So that's why we kept greater invisibility off in lieu of putting other spells on there.
So greater invisibility has its uses, but the fact that it is only a minute with concentration. Mislead winds up, serving a better purpose, in that vein. And I think more people are unaware of Mislead than they are of Greater Invisibility. So with that, we definitely wanted to mention, hey, you got a runner up of Greater Invisibility. It fits into a variety of categories, but it's not in our top 6.
So with that, what do you think? What are your favorite picks for Tier 2 Bard spells? We have a place you can discuss it down in the comments below. While you're heading down there, check out that Kickstarter. Before we leave, let me invite you to join Nerdarchy, the adventuring party on Patreon. What can I expect over there, Ted?
Over there, we're creating products for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons that both players and DMs alike can drop right into their game.
But that's not all. We do monthly giveaways, and our patrons are automatically entered.
We do weekly hangouts with our patrons and more.
So quest on down to the description, join the Nerdarchy adventuring party, and until next time,
Stay nerdy.